So last time we were able to parameterize this code in such a way that it's modular. It can work for multiple months. All right. So we're gonna go ahead, continue here. So here, so we are done with this. The bronze for taxi trip data. We're gonna go to the silver layer for taxi trip. So there is nothing for us to do here. We still maintain the DF taxi. So we're just gonna run this again just to make sure it works. Okay, it's working. And then we're gonna run an account just to make sure it's working. Nothing to change here. We've gone through this code before. All right, so nothing to change here. All right, so then we're gonna continue. Then we can also take a look at the data. It should be fine. Keep in mind that it's DF Texas Silver Clean as the new data frame we are working with. Now here, this is gonna be interesting, guys. Just pay attention right here, okay? We do know that we're gonna be able to use this code for multiple process. Why? This is the code that we use to first of all create schema in Databricks, save the file and create a table. So we're gonna use it for silver, we're gonna use it for gold, we're gonna use it for the weather data as well, for bronze, silver, and so we're gonna need this multiple times. So we're gonna make this code also modular in such a way that it's reusable multiple times. All right, so let's quickly write that together, guys. Let's write that together. All right, we're gonna do that right now. So to define a function, so a function is basically is written in a way, such a way that you can put in some argument and then use it for multiple instances. Okay, so now we're going to define in Python. We use def, and then let's call this save register, right, delta table. All right, and then we're going to tell it the what to take in terms of argument. We need a data frame for sure. We need a target paths because it's going to be different from different layer. So target paths, that's for sure. We also need a schema name. All right, and then we also need a table name. Okay, guys, just pay attention. Okay, and then now that we have all of that, right now, okay, so we're gonna take advantage of this code right here. I'm gonna copy that, and this is what we are working on. You know what, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna leave that so it doesn't confuse you guys. Okay, so let's go on. So we do know that, you know, the way we are structuring the data now, we need to be able to partition, right, so that the target path can be in a way that it can take in multiple month data. Okay, so because of that, we're gonna then say we need to end this with double column, and then we're gonna write a function, say df equals to df. Actually, let me make it easy for you guys so you can follow. So we have the function here where we create partition, right? We're just going to use the same thing, okay? But we're going to now, okay, let me just put that here and I'm going to explain a little bit. So we're now going to change this to df. Oh, sorry. We change this to df, meaning a data frame. All right. All right. So this is exactly what we need. So we're saying that once you have a data frame, put in the data frame here, and then add a year and a month based on the defined month and year above. Okay, and then from here we're then gonna put in this schema. So basically we're gonna let it go this way. Actually, I'm gonna push all of this code. Once the indent is very important when you're writing function and programming generally, so we need to indent it properly. So now we're gonna say spark.sql, everything remain the same. However, one thing that we are gonna change, that's gonna be changing over time, is the schema name. So because of that, we're going to just put the schema in a curly bracket, schema name. All right, so we put schema name there, so that's beautiful. And then for the target part, we don't need to specify the target part because we're going to specify that in the when we call this function that we're writing. Okay. So now that we have gotten here, the next thing for us to do is to say, okay, once you have that data frame, okay, then write format is going to be delta, mode is going to be append, not overwrite. Okay, don't forget that, append. And then I'm going to share the code with you guys, by the way, but I just want you guys to follow so you can kind of understand what we are doing. So, and then you're going to have the partition by year and month. So let's quickly copy that. We have that somewhere here. So in our previous, the one we wrote previously. So we're going to put year and month, and then we're going to say save target part, right? And then everything stays the same yet. The only thing that is changing here is going to be the schema name, right? And then the table name, okay? Because the table name is going to be different based on wherever we are using this. Okay, beautiful. So that's no, we don't need this guy here. All right, so that is basically it. So we're going to test it, okay? We are going to test it. So what we expect is that we want to be able to create this schema if it doesn't exist. And so we can, let's first of all take a look at the schemas that we have here. So for Silver, we don't have, this is all we have for now. So we want to be able to create the schema, right? And then we want to save the part here. So if we check Silver here as well, we shouldn't see any, we can see we only have text here and weather, okay? We don't have anything else, okay? So now we should be able to see whatever the new part is going to be, and then we should be able to see a new table under the schema created. So let's test that. I'm going to run this again. Let's test this. Okay, the code works fine. Now we're going to call this function. So we're going to say, then we're going to supply some, so we're going to say save register dates. Now what we expect is going to be df equals to, remember df, we may not even reference df, but for the purpose of it to be very clean and clear, we're just gonna reference it. And this guy we don't need again. We've done with our coding. All right, so it's really clean. Okay, so the name of our data frame here is df text silver clean. So we're gonna copy that. So our data frame that we want to write to the silver layer is going to be this. All right, and then we're going to say our target part, right? So we're going to say target part equals to, and if we look at what we had done before, we're going to follow the same naming convention, right? Where we had target part as this, right? So we're going to follow this, but instead of bronze, we're now going to use silver. Okay, just follow me closely. I know this may be take some time. Watch the video over and over, you will get it. So we're gonna have silver here, NY, New York City, and TXZ partitioned. We can leave it as that, TXZ partition, and then at schema name, we can call the schema name, but yeah, we're gonna use updated, right? Remember, we did the same thing for the bronze. Schema name is gonna be updated, and this one we're gonna call it cleaned daily trip. Okay, we call it the other one we call daily trip. So this one we can double check. We call it daily trip. So we're just going to call this clean daily trip. Silver, New York City updated, tags a partition. Okay, so I believe that's about it. Oh, we need to add comma, right? We need to add comma, and then that should be it. Okay, so let's run this and see if it works, if our function works. So what's going on here is that we're getting an error message, and it's telling us that there's an error in the dot. And when you look here, it's telling us that there's a problem with this in this code in our function. So we'll take a look. All right. So we can see it's trying to reference the schema name, but it's finding it difficult. So the problem is that we need to put in F here, meaning that it should be able to detect that this is a variable, right? So it's coming in as an argument, so it should reference it like that and should be properly interpreted. Okay, all right, so let's run this code again and let's see if it works. All right, we just ran it, so let's see if it works. All right, it seems to be working. That's a good thing. All right, so we're just gonna wait for it. So it did work. Okay, let's take a look. Let's refresh here. Let's refresh. Okay, anyway, let's run this. It might just be taking some time for that to. Okay, can just refresh, but let's run this. It should pick it up. We should see our data. Beautiful. And we can take a look at our data types here. It's working as expected. We can see the timestamp. Before we clean that up, if we take a look here, you will see what it looks like here. You can see this is different, right? So let's refresh again. We should be able to see it right now. Okay, we see the table. Excellent. So that means that we have successfully created a function and is working as expected. All right. Okay, so we'll end this one here. Just before we end it, okay, let's quickly run this prep silver text attribute data for gold layer. We've already done this before, but let's run it. It should work. And then the next session we'll be focusing on the weather data. All right, this is looking interesting so far. I hope you guys are really enjoying this. I really have fun doing this, so please take time to watch it. If you don't get it once, watch it over and over. If you still have some challenges, put your comment there, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next session.